Once upon a time, in the heart of a city that never slept, there was a legend whispered among the teens. They called it the Midnight Subway. Most people thought it was just a myth, a spooky story passed around to scare each other. But every so often, a brave soul would try to find it. No one ever came back with a straight answer. One night, three friends, Kai, Maddie, and Luis, decided to find out for themselves. They had heard about the secret subway station that only appeared when the city clock struck midnight. And if you could find it, they'd say, it would take you anywhere you wanted to go. Anywhere, Kai repeated as they made their way through the dark streets. That means we could see anything, do anything. Or we could end up somewhere we really don't want to be, Maddie muttered. She wasn't as adventurous as the others, but didn't want to be left out. Luis, ever the skeptic, just shrugged. It's probably just some old, abandoned tunnel. Bet we'll find graffiti and a bunch of rats. I'm not scared of that. The clock hit 11:45 as they arrived at an old, forgotten subway entrance, hidden behind a cluster of tall buildings and overgrown bushes. The entrance was rusted, with a heavy iron gate that seemed far too ancient for the bustling modern city around it. "This is it," Kai whispered, eyes wide. Luis pushed at the gate, expecting it to creak or resist, but it slid open effortlessly. They glanced at each other, all feeling a strange mix of excitement and fear. They descended the steps into a dimly lit tunnel. There was no sound except for the soft hum of electricity, as if the place had been waiting for them. The walls were covered in faded posters from a time long gone, ads for movies, concerts, and places that no longer existed. It was as if they'd walked straight into the past. As they reached the platform, they were surprised to see a single subway car waiting for them. The train gleamed, pristine, as though it had never been touched by time. The doors slid open with a soft hiss. "No driver?" Maddie asked, peering in cautiously. "I guess it drives itself," Kai said, trying to sound confident. They stepped inside, and as soon as the doors closed, the train lurched forward. The lights flickered, and the sound of the city above faded away. They passed through dark tunnels, speeding faster than any subway should. "Where do we even want to go?" Luis asked, a nervous laugh escaping him. "We didn't think this through." Maddie suddenly gasped. "Look!" Out the window, they saw the city. But it wasn't their city anymore. It was twisted, with buildings rising into the sky at impossible angles, neon lights flickering like fireflies. The people outside moved strangely, their faces blurred and their footsteps soundless. "We need to stop this train," Maddie said, her voice trembling. But the train wasn't stopping. It rushed through the night, taking them deeper into a world that felt more like a dream or a nightmare. Kai rushed to the front, searching for any kind of control, but there were no buttons, no levers, nothing to stop their wild ride. Then, without warning, the train slowed down. The lights dimmed and they pulled into a station that looked like no station they had ever seen. The walls were made of shimmering glass, and strange glowing plants grew from the cracks in the floor. The sign overhead read, "The Gateway." A figure stood on the platform, cloaked in shadows. As the train door slid open, the figure stepped forward. It was tall, almost too tall, with piercing green eyes that seemed to glow in the dim light. "Welcome," the figure said in a voice that was both soothing and terrifying. "You've found the midnight subway." "Few do." Luis gulped. "Where are we?" The figure smiled, revealing sharp, white teeth. "You're at the crossroads. From here, you can go anywhere. But beware, each path comes with a price." "Price?" Kai asked, stepping forward. "What do you mean?" "You must choose carefully," the figure said. "One path will take you to your heart's desire, another to your worst fear. And some take you to places you'd never imagine." The friends exchanged uneasy glances. "I think we should go back," Maddie whispered, her eyes darting nervously around. But Kai shook his head. "We didn't come all this way to turn around now." The figure nodded approvingly. "Brave, aren't you? Very well. Step forward and choose your path." Suddenly, 3 glowing doors appeared at the far end of the platform, each shimmering with a different color. One was blue, calm and inviting. The second was red, fiery and flickering. The third was black, so dark it seemed to absorb all the light around it. Luis turned to his friends. "We stick together, right?" But before anyone could answer, Kai stepped forward, drawn to the red door. Without hesitation, he placed his hand on it and vanished. "Kai!" Maddie screamed, but it was too late. He was gone. The figure's smile widened. "Now, it's your turn." Maddie, trembling, looked at Luis. "We have to go after him." Luis nodded, but his gaze kept drifting to the blue door. "But what if we choose the wrong one?" There was no time to debate. Maddie grabbed Luis's hand and pulled him toward the red door. Together, they touched it, and in an instant, they were whisked away. They landed in the middle of a vast, burning city, one that looked eerily like their own, but it was in ruins. The sky was red, the air filled with ash. Fires raged in the distance, and strange creatures prowled the streets. "There!" Luis shouted, pointing to a figure in the distance. It was Kai, running toward them, chased by something that looked half human, half beast. Without thinking, they ran to him. "We have to get out of here!" Kai panted, eyes wide with terror. "I'm trying!" Maddie shouted, frantically searching for another way out. As the creature closed in, Luis spotted a glowing door in the distance, just like the ones from the station. "There!" he yelled. "That's our way out!" The 3 friends sprinted toward the door, the ground shaking beneath them. Just as the creature lunged, they dived through the door and landed back in the midnight subway. They were breathless, shaken, but alive. The figure stood there, watching them with those eerie green eyes. "You survived," it said, almost surprised. "Very well. You've earned your way back." The subway train doors slid open again, and the friends hurried inside. As the train began to move, the city of nightmares faded away, replaced by the familiar sights of their own city. When the train finally stopped, they found themselves back where they had started, standing at the old subway entrance. The clock read 12:01. "That was insane," Luis breathed, his heart still racing. Kai nodded. "But we made it." Maddie looked back at the subway, now silent and still. "Let's never do that again." And as they walked away, the legend of the midnight subway remained, but now they knew the truth. Some paths were better left unexplored. The end.